from Heads Up. We're actually supported by Meteor. We're kind of helping teenagers, kind of a suicide prevention program for the country. So I know it's something serious at an awards ceremony like this, but obviously you've been a teenager before, and look, you're like a big rugby star now. What kind of advice would you give to teenagers today to kind of get through that difficult period?
Well, I suppose, it's important to know that there's always someone to talk to, and no matter how bad things seem, I suppose there's always someone to turn to. I see a lot of the signs on the buses and things like that for places where you can go and talk to someone if you really need to, if you feel there's no one that you're comfortable going through your problems with. So that's all I'd say really to those people.
And with the lads on the rugby team and all that sort of stuff, is there a real camaraderie? Can you confide in your teammates?
I'll be very careful about what I do confide with them, because it's a pretty ruthless environment in the rugby team. But I have a lot of good friends in the team, and if I ever did need anything, I'm assuming they'd be there for me. Yeah.
And do you think sports is a good way to de-stress?
I certainly do. I think being in a team atmosphere is fantastic, and anyone who gets the opportunity to play team sports, I'd recommend it, because you make a lot of very good friends there, and you get a lot of good experiences, and you learn an awful lot of kind of important things. So I definitely would recommend it.
Hi, how are you doing? I'm Pamela from Heads Up. This is something completely different altogether. We're a campaign supported by Meteor for the prevention of suicide in teenagers in Ireland, which is a big problem at the moment. So I just want to have a chat with you to see if you've any really good words of advice, because you've all been teenagers at some point, and you're probably the best looking band here tonight. Would you have any kind of advice for Irish teenagers?
Well, obviously that's terrible that's a tendency at the moment. I don't know, teenagers always seem to not believe much in themselves, but it's just a matter of having good friends and maybe talking to your parents if you don't feel very well. I've got a lovely mum that I talk to about everything. That's always a good thing.
Oh, and that's lovely. And with music, obviously that's your life now. Did you find that got you through some difficult times in your life?
Yeah, I think music can help. Obviously, just have some friends over, maybe listen to some good music, dance around. I pretended to be in the Spice Girls when I was 13 or whatever. That's probably...
That helped you through some bad times.
I did.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Alphabet, and have a really good night. Enjoy it.
Alphabet, how are you? It's lovely.
Okay, I'm Pamela, and I'm here for Heads Up, which is Ireland's campaign for the prevention of suicide in teenagers. And I know it's a very serious issue to be talking about right now, but there's thousands of teenagers out there at the moment, and you're a young band, and I think just music and bands in general have so much of an influence on teenagers these days, and obviously you were all teenagers at some stage. So I suppose I could ask, do you find music a good de-stressor, and does it help you to kind of get through your problems and through life in general?
Oh, completely. I mean, even writing and getting everything that's on your chest out there in a song, or as me, I'll tell you, sitting down behind a drum kit and beating the lard out of it. It really is. It's a great way to kind of get your stresses out and just enjoy yourself and meet people, and just be around other people, and it's a very positive force, I think, music. So. And
in general, how would you de-stress in a sort of non-destructive way?
In a non-destructive way, I suppose exercising. I love swimming, so getting out and going for a swim is always good. But even just to sit down and pick up the guitar and just play whatever comes into your head. I mean, it's really relaxing.
And now tonight, obviously, you're up for the Hope for 2010 award.
Yes.
So are you really nervous now? Are you stressed really right now?
Actually, not nervous really at all. It's just great. It's great to be here. It's great to receive the nomination. I was more nervous when the voting was actually on. When it closed, I was like, Grant, there's nothing else you can do now. So I'm just delighted to be here, and it's 4 great other acts, and it's just great to be nominated.
Well, that's fantastic. My fingers are crossed for you, and best of luck. Thank you very much. God almighty. But Heads Up there, it's sponsored by Meteor, and basically it's the national campaign for the prevention of suicide with teenagers in Ireland. And as you know, it's a huge problem in Ireland at the moment, and you are one of the biggest bands in Ireland for, the teenagers just love you. You've got so many fans in this country, and obviously you're very respectable chaps. You've made it really well for yourselves. How do you do that, and how do you get past that troublesome teenage years?
I suppose it's important to have a good family and friends. I suppose, I don't know, we've been friends all our lives, and we enjoy what we do, and we've just played music because that's what we like doing, and so I suppose we've been lucky enough that everything has sort of gone well for us, and we haven't had. But I suppose everyone is touched by problems such as suicide in some way or the other. You know, we've all had friends or known people who've been touched by it in some way. So it is a big deal. But as I say, we've been lucky enough that we've had friends and family, and that we've never had to deal with it. You know, first hand, I suppose.
Absolutely. And how important do you think your friends are? Did you confide in your friends like anything and everything?
Yeah.
No, I don't do that.
To a certain point.
Me and Oxy do anyway. Dave's not in there.
I'm not in the loop. I'm not in the loop.
Me and Danny have a weekly chat, get everything off.
And you're obviously very nervous and very stressed tonight about the 2 nominations and performing as well in front of all those teenagers. How are you dealing with the stress tonight now?
No stress.
Once we get the performance out of the way, there's a bit of nervous before the performance. The awards can come and go. I don't really mind about them now. But we don't really expect to be up against Snow Patrol and U2 and all them. But once performance out of the way, we can have a couple of drinks and enjoy the rest of the night and get the after session going.
Absolutely. Well, stranger things have happened in award ceremonies, so don't be getting your chickens yet. Fantastic. Listen, best of luck, and thank you so much for talking to us. And hi guys, how are you doing? Hello, not too bad. I'm Pamela from the Tony Benton Show and Today FM. How are you doing? Nice to meet you guys. Thanks so much. It's freezing cold here. Sorry about the cold hands. But I'm also here in the capacity of Heads Up, which is sponsored by Meteors, the national campaign for the prevention of suicide with teenagers. And obviously, I think everyone at some stage has been touched by this, and teenagers with depression and the whole lot. And obviously, you guys have such an influence over teenagers. You're one of the biggest Irish bands around, and it is. I know it's a very serious thing to be talking about right now, but is there anything that you could, recommend to teenagers or young people just to kind of get through those troubled phases in their life, which they can obviously get through?
First of all, we're not qualified to ever advise anybody when it comes to suicide. That's a pretty close to the bone topic, but I will say that too many people are talking about it and not enough people are bloody listening. So I reckon
just talk to no one,
just find someone that will listen to you and get it out. There's always a chance to talk to somebody.
A great saying I heard years was, a problem shared is a problem halved, and it's very true. You share it with somebody else.
We could never give advice to somebody in that predicament. I've never been in that predicament, and I'm surely if you're thinking about that sort of thing, I do. My heart goes out to a person, and I hope that they can find help, in that way, and it'd be great.
And obviously we were all young once, and it was a few years.
You realise that
ago.
Once.
Well, you're not still young.
I'm really hurt by that now.
You do realise as you get older that those kind of things don't matter anymore. You've got to just try. Sometimes when you're younger, a lot of things seem bigger.
And have you found over the years that music has got you through some hard times?
You've no idea how much. For us all, especially where we are now, it's kept us going.
Being so many creative in general,
Yeah, it's a great outlet, for anything, for anger, for anxiety, for anything. It's just being creative. It doesn't have to be a song. It can be a painting, a photo.
It takes you out of yourself, but sometimes it's nothing like that. It's a good escape.
Absolutely, and you're up for 2 awards as well tonight. Is that making you stressed?
We can't believe it. Just to be nominated at all is always a surprise, But the bands we're in there with are just joints, So that's to us that's an award to us already, just to be named beside these people. So it's great, We're very flattered and very humbled by it.
Listen, best of luck tonight. It'll be good night. I'm also here with